He wasn't mysterious. He wasn't misunderstood. He was just rude with better posture and a cooler lightsaber. Mace Windu wasn't the wise Jedi Master the holotapes want you to remember. He was the guy who could walk into a room full of heroes and somehow make everyone feel like they forgot to do their homework. Every word he said dripped with that subtle brand of Jedi condescension, not the kind that's wise and ancient. The kind that makes you want to leave the temple just to avoid getting talked to like you're 5 credits short at the cantina. And if you had a concern or, heaven forbid, an emotion, you better believe Master Windu had a disapproving look, locked and loaded. And look, I get it. The guy was powerful, disciplined, sharp as a vibroblade, and twice as deadly. But he also had the warmth of a carbonite slab. You could be on fire, and he'd tell you to remain calm and trust in the Force. Then walk away while judging your posture. Anakin could have sneezed, and Mace would have accused him of betraying the Jedi Order. He was less a mentor and more of a moral bouncer, standing at the gates of enlightenment with a checklist and a grudge. The only thing longer than his lightsaber was the list of people he couldn't stand. But the real kicker is how this one man's refusal to trust, to empathize, to open up even slightly, might have helped push the entire galaxy straight into chaos. Not because he was evil, but because he mistook rigidity for righteousness and forgot how to just be human for 5 minutes. In this video, we're diving headfirst into the myth of Mace Windu, breaking down the arrogance, the attitude, and the missed opportunities that turned one of the most powerful Jedi into one of the most emotionally bankrupt figures in the Order. Because maybe the guy with the purple lightsaber wasn't a misunderstood hero after all. Maybe he was just a jerk with a lightsaber and a really bad sense of timing. So here's something nobody wants to say out loud. What if Mace Windu wasn't actually all that wise? What if he wasn't the paragon of Jedi strength and clarity the fandom makes him out to be? What if he was just the most high-ranking buzzkill in the entire galaxy? We all remember the purple lightsaber, the smooth delivery, the intense glare that could probably slice through steel without even igniting a blade. But beneath all that cool surface, there was something off. Something rigid, harsh, almost mechanical in how he dealt with everyone around him. He didn't speak so much as pronounced, like everything he said was carved into stone before the scene even started. He never advised, he judged. And more often than not, his version of Jedi discipline felt less like wisdom and more like disapproval in a robe. Why was he always on edge? Why did every interaction feel like someone was about to be scolded or demoted? Even with the council, he carried himself like the principal who secretly enjoys sending people to detention. And let's be honest, no one else in the room gave off that much condescending energy. So maybe the real question isn't whether Mace was powerful. It's whether he used that power to lead or just to dominate. Because if you look closely, the line between Jedi Master and Jedi Menace starts to blur. Let's talk about how Mace Windu handled Anakin Skywalker. And by handled, I mean ignored, insulted, and shut down at every possible turn. Like the Jedi Council's unofficial motto became, "We tolerate your existence," the second Anakin walked in. He never gave Anakin a clean slate. Never offered real mentorship. Just constant suspicion wrapped in judgment. Even when Anakin saved lives, won battles, and literally became a symbol of hope in the war, Mace still treated him like a liability on 2 legs. And that infamous line, "I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi, but I don't trust him." Imagine being the one person brave enough to speak truth to power, and your reward is the Jedi equivalent of, "Yeah, but who?" asked. Mace didn't just doubt Anakin, he practically shoved him into Palpatine's office with a bow on top. Then there's the whole master thing. Anakin gets appointed to the council, which is already sketchy. But Mace is the one who delivers the burn. "You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master." That's not leadership. That's petty gatekeeping, disguised as Jedi policy. It's like Mace never saw the person in front of him, only the threat. And when you treat someone like a danger long enough, they start acting like one. And Windu never once considered that his stone-faced hostility might have helped set the galaxy on fire. And it's sad, because you can almost see the missed opportunity hiding behind all that stiffness. Mace could have been a true mentor, a steady anchor for a young Jedi who desperately needed guidance. But instead, he was a wall Anakin kept crashing into over and over. There was no warmth, no encouragement, just cold formality and tired lectures about control. And it wasn't just Anakin. Mace kept everyone at arm's length, like he was terrified that getting close would make him feel something other than authority. Imagine what might have changed if Mace had treated Anakin like a person instead of a problem. If he'd stopped posturing long enough to actually talk to the kid, maybe Anakin wouldn't have needed Palpatine's approval so badly. Maybe he wouldn't have spiraled the way he did. But Mace didn't offer connection, he offered discipline. And for a boy raised in slavery and thrown into war, that just wasn't enough. He needed something real. Someone who saw him for more than his potential to go rogue. And by the time Mace realized how far Anakin had fallen, it was already too late. And that moment in Palpatine's office, when he looked at Anakin with pure contempt, might have been the final nail in the coffin. Still, you can't deny the guy was a powerhouse. Mace Windu was the kind of Jedi who walked into a room and immediately became the center of gravity. When he fought, it was like watching a storm collapse into a single, focused strike. That duel with Palpatine, whether you think he won or just got lucky, was one of the boldest moves in the entire saga. No backup, no debate. Just straight-up Force authority versus galactic deception. And for a minute there, it looked like Windu might actually pull it off. His fighting style alone, Vopod, was basically controlled darkness. A way of channeling your opponent's fury without letting it corrupt you. That's next-level stuff. It takes insane discipline and focus, and it shows just how far Mace had pushed the limits of the Jedi path. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't emotional. But when it came to skill, Mace Windu was elite. Even Yoda respected his judgment. Even Palpatine didn't mess around when Windu showed up. And that's saying something. There's a reason fans gravitate toward him, not because he was warm or likable, but because he was power incarnate. And for all his flaws, Mace Windu was still a Jedi who could back up every glare with results. But maybe, just maybe, there was more to him than what we saw. Maybe behind all that cold detachment was someone trying to hold the Jedi together with sheer willpower. Someone who saw the galaxy spiraling and thought control was the only thing left to cling to. Maybe he was scared, not of Anakin, but of failure. Of losing everything the Jedi had built over 1,000 generations. And in trying to prevent that fall, he clamped down so hard that he cracked the foundation himself. What if his rigidity was just armor, the kind you build after watching too many friends die in too many battles? What if being a jerk was easier than feeling responsible for the whole Order's survival? Easier than admitting the code wasn't working anymore? There's a world where Mace could have been the one to fix things. To step outside the rules and reach across that emotional chasm. He had the presence, he had the strength, but he lacked the vulnerability. And that made all the difference. If he'd just let his walls down, even once, maybe he could have stopped the chain reaction before it started. Maybe the Jedi wouldn't have fallen. Maybe Anakin wouldn't have snapped. But the truth is, Mace Windu died the way he lived. Rigid, righteous, and alone. He went down fighting for what he believed was right, but never stopped to ask if he could have done things differently. His fall wasn't a betrayal, it was a consequence. The result of years spent treating the Jedi Code like a shield instead of a guide. Years spent pushing people away in the name of purity. Years of refusing to bend. Until the galaxy broke instead. He wasn't evil, he wasn't corrupt. He was just so locked into his own perspective that he couldn't see the damage it caused. And by the time he tried to take decisive action, it was too late. He was too far removed from the people who needed him most. Mace Windu wasn't the worst Jedi, but he might have been the most tragic. Not because of what he did, but because of what he refused to become. He could have been a bridge between old and new, but instead, he became a wall. And that wall came crashing down with a single choice. One last glare. And a scream that still echoes through the fall of the Republic. Because sometimes, strength without compassion isn't wisdom. It's just another form of blindness. Thank you for watching the whole video. I make videos because of my love for Star Wars and Marvel. I've been asked countless times how I get my subtitles, and I generate them automatically with a tool I built. That same tool can be used here on my website. It's completely free and doesn't require signing up. My website contains the subtitle generator that is perfect for any video. Blogging post, where you can sign up with your email and receive notifications for when I post, and also my 3 channels. Critical Analysis Hub focuses on Star Wars and Marvel movies. Critical Analysis Hub Plus looks at Star Wars and Marvel shows. And Critical Analysis Hub XP centers on video games, like The Last of Us series, Jedi Survivor, and GTA 5. Thank you for being a fan.